Hey my loves! So today I have a really fun video for you. This is going to start kind of the holiday season on my channel. As you all know, there are so many sets and palettes out for the holidays this year. I literally want to try them all. And I know that you guys do too, but it's not exactly a feasible thing to be able to buy all of the sets and palettes and things out this year because they're so freaking expensive, but they all look so enticing, right? So what I'm going to be doing in each of these videos is showing you a look featuring the palette or set or whatever, so that if you do decide that you want it, you kind of have something to base off of. You know, this is how it applies on the eye or the face or whatever it is. Here's a look I can create with it. And today I'm going to be doing that with the Vice 4 palette. I'm also going to be reviewing this, and I'll start off with that, and then we'll get into how I created this look on my face. So the Vice 4 palette is obviously the 4th installment in the Urban Decay Vice series. I personally really love the packaging. I feel like it's so colorful and fun without being over the top. As you can see here, it kind of has like an overlay of sort of the shattered glass effect, and then underneath is like the actual base of the palette. It does feel quite sturdy, but I will say when I got in the palette, and you'll see this in the tutorial, I don't want to do it, but I flipped over the palette to get out the brush that came inside, and this little pan fell out, which I've never had happen with an Urban Decay palette before, but I don't know, it's as easy as gluing it back in, at least for me, so it's not a big downfall. This retails for $60 even, and it is currently available on the Urban Decay website as well as Sephora. I got mine off of Sephora, and here is the box that it comes in. Again, you've got that really cool, like colorful shattered glass design. On the back, you kind of have a color guide of what's inside. 20 shadows in total, a really healthy mix in my personal opinion of neutrals and bright colors and jewel tones. Today I really worked off of those jewel tones. I did a nice dark smoky eye. It also came with this little pouch that you can keep the case in, or you can just use it as a makeup bag, which I probably will do. Again, has that sort of like shattered glass effect. I will say this feels kind of cheap, not like Urban Decay's normal quality, but it's not the biggest downfall for me. We'll kind of go through the colors now, and I'll do a quick swatch session, and then I'll be back to kind of give you my thoughts and go into the tutorial. So as I said, this shadow isn't exactly sticking in the pan right now, so we will come to it when we come to it. But we'll start on this top row, and we have Bones, which is a shimmery light grayish champagne. We have Grip, which is a glittery sort of gray color. Deadbeat is a black with finely milled gold shimmer. Beatdown is a royal purpley blue. And then over here we have Pandemonium, which is a really beautiful like shimmery purple taupe. So Bones, which is really pretty. Grip, Deadbeat, Beatdown, absolutely freaking gorgeous. Pandemonium is really cool, and I think it applies a lot differently with a brush than it does on the hand. It almost looks darker here, and the more you rub it, the more it almost has a black base that comes out, but I really like it. Framed, which is a little bit too dark and too yellowy to be a highlight on me, but I'm sure it would work with someone. 1985, which is a magenta purple with a really strong bluey duochrome. Underhand is a warm reddish plum, and then lastly we have the shade Marlowe. Instead of Merlot, it's Marlowe, and this is a really cool color. It's kind of like this shade up here, which is called Pandemonium's like really cute little sister or something. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit more lilac. Last Ball is the one that doesn't want to play nicely with everyone else, and it's just a red with a really strong like warm gold shift. Discreet is a matte light taupe. Grasshopper is a really bright green shade. C-Note is more of like a mossy green. It's a little bit more diffused. And then the color Arctic is almost like a hybrid of the two with a little bit of blue thrown in. The last shade here is Robbery, which is kind of a gray toned taupe. So Discreet, Grasshopper, this one is so pigmented and so freaking pretty. C-Note, Arctic, and Robbery up here. All right, so Bitter is a warm orangey brown. Flame is a really gorgeous copper that has sort of a peach shift to it. Low is a glittery shimmery black. We have the color Crowbar, which is a really pretty olive green with a gold shift. And then Delete, which is just a really pretty warm dark brown. Bitter, Flame, one of my favorite colors. I'm obsessed with this. Low, Crowbar, and Delete. Before I totally forget, by the way, here is the brush that came with the palette. You have a flat shader on one side and a little like baby crease brush on the other. I will say I've had a lot of these Urban Decay brushes. I don't feel like this is as good as the others. I feel like I bought Target brushes way better than this, so just a little tidbit there. But as far as my general like overview of this palette, I really like it. I can't tell you yet how it stands up to Urban Decay's Urban Spectrum eyeshadow palette that also came out for the holiday season because I haven't yet tried this. But this one is kind of a similar idea with a bunch of brights and neutrals and jewel tones, but I will kind of put them head to head in my sort of like haul and overview of all of my holiday sets. So if you want to see that, just stay tuned. But as far as this palette, like not looking at anything else, this palette in general, I felt like the blendability was really there, very pigmented, true to formula for Urban Decay shadows. Also kind of true to formula with Urban Decay. There was a little baby bit of fallout, but I didn't feel like it was anything a quick sweep of the brush would not like fix. I didn't put on foundation until after this look, but even with, you know, like a sticky base because I had on moisturizer and eye cream, I didn't really feel like the fallout was sticking. So it's kind of just the nature of darker and more pigmented shadows. Since this does retail for $60 plus tax, there are 20 colors in total in here, making each shadow only $3. Plus you do get the brush, which for me, not the biggest like selling point of the entire palette, but it is a really good price on this. I feel like the Vice palettes have a really nice healthy mixture again of different arrays of colors. I like that this one isn't too terribly neutral, but that there are some like neutral-ish colors in here. For example, I used this shade right up here at the top on the lid today, and even though it really played into this plum smoky eye, I felt like it brought a little bit of a neutral aspect because it is a taupe. For me personally, made it slightly less scary because I'm not too excitable with bright colors or anything like that. I really like my neutrals. So I can't say enough good things about this. This is my first holiday palette of the year trying out so far. Highly recommend it. The Vice palettes tend to sell out really quickly, and Urban Decay very rarely brings them back in stock, so I do recommend going ahead and ordering it as soon as you can if you do decide that you want it. Again, I could not give it a better grade. It's like a perfect holiday winter palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you this look. By the way, there is going to be a change of clothing. I was wearing a flannel and then realized I hated the way that it looked with this makeup, so I changed. But yeah, if you want to see how I did this makeup, then just stay tuned. Okay, so I hope you guys like my little headband here. I'm feeling very feline-ish, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the makeup. My lids are primed. I just used a bit of my normal eyeshadow primer for this, and here is what the Vice 4 palette looks like. I'm just gonna leave the cover on here so I don't blind you guys for now. There are a lot of bright shades in here, but I'm really feeling something nice and dark and smoky. So I think what I'll do first off, I tipped over the palette to get out the brush and this pan just fell out. I have literally never had that issue with any Urban Decay palette before. That's alright, I'll just be a bit careful and probably re-glue that later. What I'll do first off is just take the shade Bitter, using the synthetic brush in the palette, which I feel is almost a little bit too narrow to do this with, I guess. So I'll switch over to a different brush. I'm just going to sweep this into the crease. This color really won't peek through by the end of the look, but it will make a nice blending transition color for now. The sun's coming back out, so I apologize if the lighting has shifted at all, but now what I'm going to do is take the color Pandemonium. I'm just going to pack this on to my eyelid. I'm keeping that kind of focused right here in the center, not bringing it all the way in, and I'm not bringing it all the way out. Now I'm going to use the color Underhand, I believe. It's just a plummy shade. Just gonna work this on to the outer portion of my eyelid, working it in to meet with that taupe. Off the bat, I can definitely say that the shadows are blending really easily. They look really pretty and they're playing well with each other. I'm gonna switch back to the brush that came with the palette because I think this will be the perfect size for this. I'm going to take the color Underhand one more time to that nice plum. Just going to work this into the crease. Now using a slightly denser brush, I'm going to take the color Delete, which is a it's right here. It's like a dark whiskey brown. I'm just going to work this into the outermost corner for a little bit of added darkness. And now on the inner corner, because I do want a smoky look, I'm going to take underhand again. And I'm just going to pack this on the very innermost corner to meet in with the taupe. I'm also making sure to drag that so that it meets with underhand where it was blended in my crease. So you've got like that pop of the taupe on the lid, but overall it's a very smoky plum look. So I just kind of quickly cleaned things up using a bit of makeup remover on a Q-tip, and I just sort of cleaned up the excess because I'm going to go ahead and move into foundation. And because this is mostly focused on the palette, I'm going to move through this pretty quickly. Starting off with primer, I'm just using the Too Faced Hangover RX, and I'm going to prime the skin. Because I'm quite pale at the moment, I'm going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Vanilla. I like this best applied with my fingertips, so I'm just going to take it on the back of my hand and blend it on the skin. This look is clearly very dark and we are incorporating colors, so I'm not afraid to really bring in a strong highlight. I'm just first going in with a brightening concealer. This one is maybe like 3 shades lighter than my current skin tone. So I'm just blending that in an upside down triangle and I'm going ham. I know it looks like a ton and honestly it is, but I am going in with a damp sponge. This one is from Real Techniques and it will pick up any excess product. See how just bright the side of my face looks now? I know it looks like a ton, but I promise it blends out. Okay, so I just set under the eyes, between the brows, basically wherever I put down that concealer with the Airspun Loose Face Powder. You can find this at Walgreens. And if you let this sit on the places that you need to set for maybe like 5 minutes and then blend it in, it looks perfect. So now I'm going to jump into the color Franked. Just kidding, that's framed. Maybe I need glasses. And I'm just going to use this to highlight my brow and kind of blend out the edges of the shadow. I didn't realize that color is a little bit too dark, so I'm just going to take a light face powder. I could have just used the Airspun one, but this is a bit easier, and I'm just gonna go over that area. So not a very fair complexion friendly highlight in this one. So on the lower lashes, I'm going to take the color Bitter, and I'm just going to smudge this pretty much all the way into the inner corner. This is going to make the blending process much easier, just like it did on the upper lid. We're going to use a baby bit of Pandemonium. On the same brush, I'm just going to dust this on to the inner third of my lower lashes. Then I'll take a bit more of Underhand, just right here in the outer portion. I'm not gonna take too much of this because if you go overload on these plummy shades where the whole thing just starts to look kind of sickly and it's not cute. Lastly, I'm going to take the color Delete, that whiskey brown. Just gonna smudge that right here on the outermost corner. Now that I kind of look like a panda bear, I'm going to blend. Unless you like looking like a panda, in which case you do you, boo-boo. On the very innermost corner, just to keep the eyes from getting too closed up, I'm just going to take Framed, and I'll dab the babiest bit of that right there, not too much. Now, using my Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner, I'm just going to line my upper lash line, and I am going to do a wing. Just like so, and you can see it really kind of breaks up all of those really just dark plum colors and gives a little bit more definition to the eye. Okay, so I'm giving the eyes a break because you guys know liquid liner and wings, just sometimes it doesn't turn out. So I had to fix mine like 3 or 4 times. So I'm just going to do a little bit of, well, not really contour. I'm calling this my contour today because I'm not gonna go too crazy. It's just from IT Cosmetics, the Vitality Glow Anti-Aging Matte Bronzer. Also gonna take a bit right under the jaw. I'll also super lightly contour the sides of my nose with this. And for a sharper look, I'm going to take a bit more of that Airspun Loose Face Powder. Just dab it right under that contour, although we really just bronze, and I won't blend that for now. For blush today, we'll use the Milani powder blush, and this is in the shade Awakening Rose. Just a nice warm nude color. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to highlight, and today I'm just going to use Champagne Pop by Becca Cosmetics, which I've been turning to a lot lately. Even though I am on the fair side, I just feel like it gives the most natural, luminous glow. I'll just ultra quickly fill in my brows as per usual. I like to just line the underside of them, blend that out, and then do the same thing on the tail. Then for a bit of added definition, I will also line the top of the tail of my brow. And that's pretty much it. That's my full brow routine. Okay, so now I can blend out that face powder, and it just makes the contour, or in our case, the bronzer, look so freaking natural. Oh, I nearly forgot. I'll go ahead and set off those brows with a bit of clear brow gel. You can use whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to do mascara and falsies, but before I do that, I'm going to set everything off using MAC Fix Plus. And I'll go over top with Urban Decay All Nighter just to make the makeup last longer. On the waterline, I'm going to use a dark brown liner. This one is Perfect Espresso from Too Faced, and I don't want to go with black because I don't want this to become too raccoony. Plus really nice dark brown liners like this tend to enhance green eyes, which is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and curl up my lashes. And just so my real lashes blend with the falsies, I'll just apply a very quick coat of mascara. And my lashes today are going to be the Vegas Nay Grand Glamour lashes. I actually got these at UK Plus Size Fashion Week when I was in the show, and they actually trimmed them down to fit my little eyeballs. So I've worn them like 3 or 4 times now, and they're still going strong, so I'm just gonna put these on. What a difference they make. Oh, God, they're so pretty. I wound up changing my top while I was off camera, and normally I would just try to push through it, but I hated the colors. I don't know what I was thinking when I put it on. I definitely like the top, I just felt like it was kind of clashing with the overall look. So I'm gonna line my lips using the Lip Cheat Iconic Nude Lip Liner from Charlotte Tilbury. Then I'm going to go over that with the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the color Nude Kate, and this is just a really, really true nude color. I want it to be a baby bit more pink, so I'm just going to take NARS's Anita lipstick and lightly dab over it, just a bit. That's gonna be it for me. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and you found this helpful. I like to do reviews in this sort of a format so they're not just like super quick, like, okay, I like it, okay, I don't, you know, that kind of thing. So if you want more of these, just let me know. I plan on doing them probably once a week through the holiday season because I have so much to review. It's not even funny. But if you guys did enjoy, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already, and until next time, my loves, I will see you very soon. Bye.